This is the fans' fault if they don't like it.
Yep. Yeah, I've gotten no feedback this week. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's really cool that you're doing that." I was like, "Well, what's your favorite episode?" Well, I started listening to episode 1.
Started 5 minutes in.
Yeah, right. It's like, thanks.
Oh, this is cool. I'm bored. So welcome back to 1010's podcast. I'm Michael Beck. I've got Adam and Handsome Rob with me again, as usual this week.
I like it.
We were just berating Adam for his poor Facebook post that he made today.
I've never claimed to be a social network expert, enthusiast, whatever you want to call it.
Not completely trying to run you under the bus, but I don't know why we...
Oh, no. Back that shit up. Bring it on.
I don't know. I don't even know why. Why did you volunteer to do the Facebook stuff?
Because I don't want to use Instagram, and I've never used Twitter, and Robbie's got Instagram, and you've got Twitter, so I kind of just by process of elimination decided I should probably claim Facebook.
Ended up with Facebook.
Maybe we should switch based on my terrible feedback I've gotten on Instagram the last week. It's like I posted and get 2 likes, 3 likes.
I've never posted a picture on Instagram in my life.
I keep tagging you.
I'm well aware.
I'm also running over Robbie because apparently this is the first time he's used a microphone. Yet again, now we're recording and you're way quieter than the rest of us.
What are you talking about? I'm
Get
right
up in
next.
there.
Yeah, get up in that microphone.
I am all up in this microphone.
There we go. There we go.
So if I keep touching it with my lips,
that's where it's supposed to
now
be.
it sounds like I'm lisping all over this mic.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. That's how it's supposed to work.
Okay.
Good.
Supposed to.
So I guess we got to actually share our social media. So we were 1010's podcast on Instagram, 1010's podcast on Facebook, and the number 1010's podcast on Twitter, and we got 1010'spodcast.com.
Which we should start using more of.
We should start using. I have that article. I'll post it this week.
Post that article
if
this
Robbie
week.
will edit it.
I'll proofread it today.
Yeah, I'm not that guy. I'm really bad at that stuff.
We'll figure it out. We'll train you.
Give you some math.
We'll get you
for math.
I have
English
a
classes.
whole generation of English teachers that would beg to differ.
You can't be any worse than Doug on Jalopnik. So
Hey-o.
he's actually a good writer. He just
Writes dumb
Grammatically.
he
things.
just writes dumb things. His
Oh.
topics are just poor. He drove
because
an Aston
they're about
Martin
himself.
in the snow, or his. Sorry, he drove his Aston Martin
Aston Martin.
in the snow.
Not a Aston Martin. Not an, excuse me.
His Aston Martin. So anyway, so we have a fun-filled show for you today.
I'm pretty excited about it.
It's going to be a good show. We got lots of stuff to talk about. So I went to the Chicago Auto Show this past weekend.
Without
I guess
us.
it's still the weekend, but for people listening to this, a week ago. I
So
went to
is
the
it
Chicago
over
Auto Show. Today's the last day, and it might be one of those things, when you go to a swap meet and it's like the last hour where people are just packing
Yeah,
shit
by
out.
3 o'clock. If the gates close at 5, by 3 o'clock, no one's there.
Yeah, I bet that's probably what it's like.
It's quite long. It's been going for a while now.
I think it's not quite 2 weeks. It's close to 2 weeks, though.
They're really
I
going for
can't
2
blame them
weeks.
for packing up and leaving as soon as they can.
Well, they say it's the world's biggest auto show, but I think it's really the world's biggest public auto show.
like square footage.
Yeah, and if you want to go to an auto show, go to that one because there's just tons of stuff there.
But the one that is coming up here in Europe is the one where all the big cars the cars that we care about anyway, get released.
Yeah, this is definitely Joe Schmo, average guy, auto show. It's not, it's not Geneva where you're going to see Zondas and
That's what I
Lamborghinis
was
and
trying to
stuff.
think. I couldn't
Yeah.
think of where it was.
Yeah, you must be thinking of Geneva. That's the
Yeah.
exciting place to release stuff. Plus, Detroit's before this one. So if you're an American automaker, you got to release in Detroit.
Well, yeah,
Because Merca. Yeah, Merca for sure. Robbie doesn't know anything about that.
He's learning.
I know that Detroit is Motor City.
I got a comment, actually.
Did you Google that? Is that how you came
No,
up with that?
I know that.
I got a well, we've been to Detroit quite a few
Many
times,
times.
for non-car related things. So,
Motown.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, Motor City Shakedown and
Bit
stuff
of
like that.
Showdown, skate.
Let's go to a disco.
Rollerblade.
Let's go to disco, take some ecstasy.
No, we
It was
didn't.
like 5
we didn't
years in a
club
row
stuff.
that we went to Detroit in February. Everyone's like, where are you going this weekend? We're just going to
Detroit.
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 Why
Why?
would you go to
Why would
Detroit
you
in
do that?
February? Because it's the cool thing to do, actually.
It's really nice.
So before we went to the auto show, I was there with Scott and Bill, a couple friends of mine. So we took Scott's STI out there, Bill's STI
Bill.
out there, and that's quite the machine. So he's got different tunes for that car. I didn't realize that.
I think that's a standard Subaru thing, isn't it?
Well, no. So they've got on the 11 pluses or the 12. I'm going to be totally wrong. We're going to get run over for this. I don't know anything about Subarus. So there's a knob in this.
Disclaimer.
There's a knob on the center console, And now his tuner, Graham, has figured out how to put different tunes on that knob. So it's like Intelligent, Sport, and Sport Plus.
So like kind of like the BMW iDrive or whatever, it's got a knob down there, or what's that knob normally for?
All that knob does is those 3 tunes. So if you go buy a new STI, I think a new one, I don't know. This generation, which would be the previous generation, has that knob. This is not good car news at all.
Not even a little bit.
They made a Subaru at one point that had a knob that you could change the stock tune on it, because there was the Intelligent, which is, that's going to be your most mundane, economical
your drive
tune.
about.
Good fuel economy.
Yeah, your Sport tune, which is kind of in the middle, and then the Sport Plus, which is balls to the wall. Race car, doing rally things. Yeah, Chem block. That's that setting.
So are their stock ECUs fully capable of that type of tuning?
Yeah,
they don't change out ECUs on those.
No
yeah,
shit.
yeah, and I think it's open source too. That's why they're so popular, is because you get a guy that can figure out how to E85 tune them, and you put a bigger fuel pump on it, change some injectors, and then all of a sudden you got another, 20% more power from doing effectively nothing. That's why they're so popular.
Their launch control, their E85, the whole 9 yards is done on the stock ECU.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because Bill's got launch control, and he's got no lift shift.
Yeah, Rob Wing, he runs that factory. He told me really the only reason he can think of that anybody would ever change it is if they're running 8 fuel injectors. If they're making 1,000 horsepower cars,
Right.
And even then, I guess there's ways to run the factory ECU if you really wanted to.
Good grief.
Yeah,
Good for them.
Yeah, that's why they're so popular, because that's a pretty easy way to modify a car.
Yeah.
So the issue with that though is that car makes 500 horsepower at the wheels, and it has a worse drinking problem than John Daly. So
I don't know who that is.
he's a golfer. He's slightly an alcoholic. I don't think we're going to offend anybody by that.
Hope not.
So you got to get fuel like 3 times on the way to Chicago.
Really?
And it's E85 though, so it's like $1 a gallon.
Okay.
But
Yeah, and this is the car they drove on the One Lap of America trip.
so they had tanks of fuel in the back, and I hope sometime we'll get Bill on to talk about One Lap. But they bring extra fuel with them. He doesn't have a fuel cell, so it's a stock tank.
Yes.
And then he'll put those VP gas cans in the back of it. And they had to fill the trunk with them, essentially, because at some point, or I guess hatch, because his is a hatch, but at some point there's just no E85 stations.
I thought his was a trunk car. His is a hatch?
Yeah, it's a hatch.
I guess I don't know why I thought that was a trunk car.
There's a lot of white, winged trunk cars running around.
Yeah, I suppose. The one time that Don and Josh attempted to do, well, Don specifically, Josh successfully made a track day, but Don attempted to take his MR2 to a track day. He had a couple gas jugs of E85 because there's not an E85 pump close to RPM.
Yeah.
And apparently, like, they were driving, and he was feeling real lightheaded and didn't really know why.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And like they stopped at a gas station, and Josh got in the car and got like, dude, how can you breathe in here? It turns out that they had spilled one of those gas jugs and there was like 3 inches of E85 in the bottom of his trunk.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
That's rough.
That should have been like a sign to him that was going to be a poor weekend, because that was the weekend that he made a viewing hole in the side of his.
He money shifted it, is what he did.
Yeah.
And for those of you that don't know, it's when you go for fourth and get second.
I don't think that's what happened. I think.
Oh, really?
I think it popped back out of gear and he over revved. I think is what happened.
Okay, fair enough.
But I got a picture of the piston that grenaded. I'll ask him if he's okay with us posting it. It's pretty epic.
Yeah.
How did I not know anything about this?
About what?
Yeah, it was like he had just got the car running,
Yes, I
like
knew
not
that.
even a week in. They went down there on a Friday night for the track day on Saturday. They were running open test and tune drags at the drag strip that's attached to the road course.
Okay.
And Don's like, yeah, let's see what it does. The first pass out, he's halfway down the track and pops himself out of third gear. Boom, motor's over.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, quite the deal. So when we go out to Chicago, we've been doing this for 3-4 years now. So when we go out there, we know of a dealership that we go to that has these high-end exotics, which I'm not going to mention because it's my secret. I'll tell you guys off air, but I'm not telling anybody else. Plus, if we may ruin it collectively for everybody if people just start showing up there. So
I did get a comment that someone was amazed they let you in there like that.
Yeah, so we're not going to go there. If you do enough internet research, you'll figure it out. So we went to the dealership, and there's always interesting stuff there. But the stuff that was there this time, never, ever would have expected maybe even to see this stuff in my lifetime.
I couldn't believe it.
So there was a Koenigsegg CCXR.
So awesome.
Which was, no, you were the 1-1. That wasn't your dream car.
he
But
did.
it's-
Yeah, but that's the predecessor too.
yeah. Dream car adjacent. And then there was a 675 Longtail, which I realize the McLaren is, it's not that rare, but they don't have any more of them, so it was kind of cool to see it. There was the Pagani Huayra, which, again, never would have thought in my lifetime I would have seen a Huayra in the United
Is that
States.
how we pronounce that?
I'm pretty sure it's Huayra, yeah.
I think it's Huayra, yeah.
Yeah,
Huayra.
probably.
Huayra.
Yeah,
Pre-
didn't
Pre-
I massacre it when I tried saying it?
I don't know what it is.
And then,
Those are not legal, right? You cannot.
No, those are street legal.
yeah, it's got to be
No,
at some level.
I thought they said all Paganis were Euro spec. They never were intended to be sold here. Let's check. Wish we had a producer.
Well,
that
no,
could
I
tell
think,
us.
our
Yeah, our
producer's-
producer's gone today. She decided she needed a mother-daughter weekend one more time before we have a kid.
I think you're thinking of the Zonda, because the Zonda didn't have airbags.
You cannot legally drive the Pagani Zonda in the U.S.
Yeah.
This isn't the Zonda. This is the Huayra.
Okay, well then maybe you can.
Huayra? Huayra.
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 I don't know.
Huayra.
The Huria.
So,
So
yeah, I think
Note
when
to
they brought...
Pagani.
Yeah.
Make it easier for the world to pronounce.
Add more
Everyone else can
consonants
pronounce it.
to the
It's
name.
Us Americans that
I'm
can't.
not even sure that's true.
Oh, Pagani sends 40% of Huayras to the United States.
Yep.
Bam.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Yeah.
40%, that's like 3, right?
Or 4.
And the other 50% of them probably went to China.
No, they went to Dubai.
Dubai. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's probably true.
So that was there. That was a lot of carbon fiber, Robbie. You would have been
I'd probably still
sporting a
be
halfy
there,
the whole
just
time.
sit
Yeah,
there.
you'd just be standing there the whole time. What else was back? There was a Maserati race car back in there. I don't
It
know
looked
much
like there
about
were
that.
quite a few real
Yeah.
interesting race cars.
There was
the
that.
F40, we have to talk about the F40.
I mean, it's not an F, it's not an F50, but it is a pretty cool car.
It's much, much better than an F50 is
That-
what it is.
So, I asked Bill and Scott about this. Is there a car that you've ever been around that makes you nervous? Like, just makes you a little on
Yeah.
edge?
Butterflies in your stomach.
Butterflies in your stomach?
Goosebumps,
yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah, that redhead. Every time I see her,
Man.
just get a little nervous. Just get a little bit nervous. It's really sad, though, because that car was sitting there, and I talked to Bill, and he thinks that car's been there for about 5 years.
That's
In
so
that exact
disgusting.
same spot.
Basically in the same spot. He said it was, a few feet forward at one point, but that's basically where it lives. And then I talked to the service manager, and he said that a guy bought that, 5 years ago, and that's its home. I mean, the guy that bought it pays them to store it there.
So do you think they start it up once a month, make sure it runs, or does it literally just sit there?
I assume there's probably still a maintenance schedule that has to be, done for that car, because otherwise, as you know, shit seizes up. You don't run a car.
Yeah, that's what
bad
I'm
things
worried
happen.
about.
Yeah.
Especially a motor that's, running at 10/10 like that.
Yep. Was that a plug?
It can be.
That was good. That was good. So that was actually kind of smooth.
So it was on a battery tender at least, but yeah, I don't.
That
I
doesn't
don't.
mean
I don't
that
know.
The motor's gonna
No,
do
I
any good.
don't know. I would hope that that's probably one of the premier dealerships in the country, if not the world. So I really hope that they're doing.
They have to be to have that
Good.
caliber of
Yes,
car.
I'd almost wonder if the reason it's there is because he can guarantee that those guys are going to service it and make sure everything's fine. Because if he owned it at his own garage, it'd just sit there and he'd never touch it.
Maybe I don't know. It's sad because when I talked to the guy, he said that there's 10 other cars at the dealer that he owns that stay there, and I'm assuming that little area that had the Koenigsegg, and that was kind of his spot back in there.
Crazy. It's like the Sultan of Brunei that has stupid, huge buildings and just has a bunch of cars.
Yeah, I assume that's probably what's happening.
Just
So,
upsetting.
Yeah, it is sad because I would kill multiple people to own that car. And
We got ourselves a pile up in pit lane there.
we're watching the Daytona 500 in the background. This is where are we at? Lap 122 of 200.
Yep.
There were 3 cars trying to get into 2 pit lane spots there. It was interesting. Anyway,
Are they on a caution? What are they doing?
Well, yeah,
Probably.
that car blew out its tire like a second ago.
Oh, weird.
we don't really know NASCAR that well.
Not even a little bit.
So, like, I don't know names. I don't know numbers. I don't know.
We're trying to kind of appeal to some people that may be interested in NASCAR at some level, so we're trying to watch it to understand it, and we would be the worst commentators in the entire world.
Or the best.
Fox isn't going to hire us to do this anytime soon, but I don't
Look
know.
at that yellow car.
Yep, 24 is
That's what
almost
we'd be
next to
doing,
the
you
other
know?
car. Yep, still next to him, going left.
Oh, there's a Chevy Malibu. It's terrible.
No.
So after we did the little dealership experience, then we went to the auto show the next day.
Which was a letdown by comparison.
Yeah, that's usually. I mean,
I don't even know that's.
at this
I mean,
point,
it's-
though, you just know it's different. You go to the dealer because you know it's going to be crazy, and then you go to the auto show so you can see stuff that maybe at some point you'll be able to afford.
Car sleuts.
And car sleuts.
What? At the manufacturing auto show?
Well, they're hired sleuts.
No, that's the best
Like
kind.
Alpha had a bunch of sleuts.
Yep.
I saw. Were they actually talking about the cars in the? It looks like they were.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
your challenge. So
Yeah.
they posted on Facebook that these girls like knew stuff about their cars, and so I challenged Michael to go and talk to them to prove it right or wrong.
I'm sorry, Alfa Romeo. I do want to own one at some point. So
I
have
love
to,
you, Alpha.
I love you,
really
Alfa Romeo,
do.
so much. But they didn't know anything about those cars. The one girl that was doing the presentations, which props to Alfa Romeo for not 2 years ago not being there at all, to having this huge booth with 2 production cars, and then they've got that 33 Stradale, which was potentially it's just like the most beautiful race car ever. It's so gorgeous. If you don't know, go to our Facebook and look at it, or just Google it. 33 Stradale.
No, go to our Facebook. Don't
Go to
Google
our
it.
Facebook
We
or
need the
Instagram.
hits.
It's so gorgeous. $10 million that car.
Wow.
It's a little steep. But
Feel the
just,
burn.
absolutely gorgeous. Those girls, the one girl that was giving the presentation, and there were a ton of people there. I mean, it was amazing how many people that Alfa Romeo had pulled in, considering people were asking the dumbest questions like, who owns Alfa Romeo? What is this company? Is this made in America? There was that, you hear that shit in the background the whole time that you're at the auto show. So
Wow.
God, the ignorance blows. Why do you waste? If you don't know those simple things, why do you even come to an auto show?
I don't know. I heard one of the girls, to her credit, was explaining to a guy that they were owned by FCA. So at least she knew that. But
Bravo. Oh, I know. I'm well aware of what it looks like. It's
he's looking at a
gorgeous.
33 Stradale.
He's looking
A
at the
little
Facebook picture.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
It is fantastic.
So
Yeah, I'd enjoy that.
the one girl that was giving the presentation on the Giulia, their new sedan.
Is that how you pronounce that too?
Yeah, Giulia. Yeah.
I've always wondered that.
Yeah. Usually
Okay.
you think it's with a J, but this has a G in it and some I's and stuff. But
It's Italian.
it's Italian. It's an Italian thing. She was definitely reading off a script. I'm pretty sure she called it the Berg ring when she was talking about the Nürburgring lap time.
The Berg ring?
The Berg ring, and I was like,
What
nope.
is its Nürburg time?
7:39, I think.
It's respectable for a 4-door.
Pretty big. And what was the other thing? 50. She said it had a 50-50 power to weight distribution.
That could kind of be a thing. Like, no, I'm just no.
That's
never
not what she
mind.
meant. It's in the brochure. It says 50 to 50, 50-50 weight distribution. That's what she meant.
Okay.
But she said 50 to 50
Power to-
Did she
power to
talk
weight.
about torque ratios?
She was close. A couple times she talked about torque ratios. So then we went and we talked to this other girl she was like first of all, both of these girls need carbs bad, real bad. I know Robbie doesn't agree,
Are you
but
saying they were too skinny?
they were
or-
too skinny.
There's no way I don't agree with
Too
that.
skinny and probably a little loopy, and that's why she said Berg ring and torque ratio and all that stuff.
Were they dime pieces or?
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe I think in my old age I'm softening a little bit, and I don't like.
Oh,
that.
yeah, for sure.
I don't like that small of a girl anymore.
Yeah, they could clearly use a couple sandwiches.
Yeah, definitely. I almost bought one of them a burger, but so we're talking to the one girl, and Scott, by the way, Mr. Subaru, although he does love the Fiat, was losing his fucking mind in the Alfa Romeo booth. He was like a
Really?
kid in a candy store. He had brochures out. He was looking at options. He was talking about paint colors and wheels and caliber. It's just like, dude, like, I'm in love. Don't get me wrong, but you are just completely out of control.
Maybe that brewery business is doing better than we thought.
So he's sitting we were walking back to the car, and he's got the brochure, and he's being really quiet, and Bill and I are talking out of the corner of my eye. He's walking and holding the brochure open and reading it. And I was like, Scott, God damn it, pay attention.
Oh my God, I would be so happy if he was able to buy one of those.
So he was, I mean, genuinely
The
interested.
Julia?
The Julia.
Okay.
It's gorgeous. It's quite the deal. Carbon fiber back seats, which you can see. So you'd want to sit in the back because the whole back of the seat's carbon fiber. And
Is that a concept thing or is that a production
No,
thing?
it's a
That's a
production
production,
thing.
sir.
It's supposed
Get
to be,
outta here.
It's supposed to be hitting production in March.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
And okay, hold on, I'm trying to find it.
So it's on
right
Facebook. I had to take pictures of it from a bit of a distance.
And they are saying this is production. This is not a
The back
concept.
of those seats,
That is
that's
production,
sick.
sir. Robbie's so confused right now. 'cause
I'm not
he's,
buying it.
He's in love with an Italian car, and it doesn't
This
compute.
4-door Alfa Romeo's got a carbon fiber seats. I don't know.
He's confused.
I love it. I
Carbon
think it's
fiber
wonderful.
lip,
I have a hard time believing it.
carbon fiber spoiler.
Robbie's a doubter.
I am.
He's negative, Robbie.
That's all right.
Ever since Hyundai, yes, I said Hyundai. Ever since they came out with the Genesis concept, and they're like, oh, carbon fiber everything. Here's this carbon fiber hood and carbon fiber this.
You know they're not going to do
and then
that.
when they go to production, there's no carbon fiber on the whole car.
Robbie, it's
it
like
sucks.
it's a people's car. It's not going to have.
He was
is a
lied to.
I was lied to. And
You're
Alfa
getting
Romeo's
off
probably going to
track.
lie to me too.
They're Italians. They
We've
do
been off
what
track like 9 times already.
they do whatever they want to do. The Italians, whatever they
That's
want.
true. They're basically the upper middle class Ferrari.
Yeah.
I'm not
So
gonna
I can
argue
see them
that.
doing it.
Why wouldn't they do it?
Look at the 4C.
That's all carbon fiber.
That
The whole thing is
top
carbon
to
fiber.
bottom.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We'll come back to that later.
We will.
The 4C. So
4C.
Scott was asking, I mean, genuinely interested, asking about color names because that's, I mean, he's digging deep.
Corsa Rosa Red.
Yeah, it's exactly what it's called. She didn't know what the names of any of the colors were. It's like there's only 6 colors. Like you didn't have like
Are
a
they
little
6
training.
different shades of, or 5 different shades of red and then a black?
There's 2 different reds, and that's where the issue was. Is Scott's like, I gotta figure out which red is red because I gotta know what to order.
Which one's burgundy and which one's red?
I don't know. So yeah, they didn't know anything, which is kind of disappointing.
That
They
is
lied
really
to us.
disappointing.
Which are you really surprised the Italians lied to us?
No, and I'm not convinced they lied to us so much as they were making a joke at their own expense.
Oh, that's clever actually. No one else would do that.
I'm fine with it.
Okay,
I hope
fair
that's
enough.
what they were doing.
Fair enough. Not mad. I'm less mad now than I was a minute ago. Makes sense.
I think you were the one that mentioned that when we first talked about it.
I thought they were kind of serious, but anyway. So other stuff that was cool, the Back to the Future Tundra, which we didn't know was going to be there.
I don't even know what that is.
No, it's not a Tundra. What's the smaller one?
Tacoma.
Tacoma. Back to the Future Tacoma.
Because it should just be like the one in the movie.
Sweet. Super cool.
What was so special about it?
It looks like the
like
one
what?
from the movie,
Oh,
which was sweet.
Oh.
Remember that one?
Except a new one?
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
updated version.
Oh, that would be really cool. Is that a thing they're going to make?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's a bummer.
I'm sure you
Here
could
it
get the TRD accessories to make it.
That would be really cool. I
Yeah,
would
so
like
it wouldn't
that.
be
I
a
liked
challenge to mimic that one.
I liked it a lot.
But you got to be an incredible douchebag when you're driving it.
No,
Why?
Marty McFly had it. He wasn't a douche.
Oh, damn
You're
it.
thinking
No,
this
This
is-
one right here.
For someone I was...
You got to get a douchebag to wax it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you got to
sorry.
call him out
Wow.
because he's only putting one coat
Apparently
of wax
I need to
on.
watch Back to the Future again.
That bitch. He's only putting one coat of wax on. He's charging you for 2.
What a cheapskate.
Yeah, dick. So that was cool. I
That
was
is cool.
Super pumped about that.
What is this ugly thing?
What's that?
Oh, God, that's bad.
So Toyota decided that
well, of course it's a Toyota.
DeLorean.
Yeah,
Look,
aren't they coming back, DeLorean?
It's a DeLorean Prius.
That's what it is.
Ugh.
It had a flux capacitor in it.
Terrible.
It
Not
was
into
was
it.
really bad.
Not into it.
It was a huge bummer. After you get up there, like, wow, sweet, Marty McFly edition, no, and then you're bummed.
Well, so we're on Toyota already.
Yeah.
So let's talk about our most hated currently manufactured car.
Oh, it's as bad as it is on the internet.
Yeah?
The Prius is so ugly.
Oh, that's not even the car I was talking about. But
No.
yeah,
You
let's talk about the
you didn't
Prius.
take a single picture of it.
I couldn't.
It's
I
because he
couldn't.
didn't want to break his camera. I get it.
No,
Yeah.
it'd be funny to be like, just post it so we know what we're talking
It's on
about.
the internet already. Just look at it's so ugly.
Yeah, the front end, the back end, the whole thing, it's just a mess. Bad.
Ugh.
I didn't think that they could make that uglier, but they did.
I thought it was like a rendering the
You
first
think it's
time
a
I saw
joke?
it.
You think they're like there's people at Toyota that are like, let's make this uglier and see if we can continue to get people to buy it.
I wonder because they've gotten progressively uglier.
They have.
And sure, why not?
It's a joke.
Let's see how stupid we can make these
Let's see how-
supposed eco people look.
Yeah. It's all you West Des Moinesians
No, it's like San Francisco people.
Yeah, oh yeah.
and West Des Moines.
There's not.
You go to your Whole Foods and you eat your free range chicken and you.
See, now he's calling you out.
He is calling me out. 'Cause I just said earlier. You know what? I like free range chicken.
Just not quite well off enough to afford a Tesla.
fair trade coffee.
So you're drinking your fair trade coffee and driving your ugly Prius.
I don't know.
Well,
He's-
so even
I
their
feel like
Sup-
he's had
their
a lot of
Super Bowl
haterade lately.
commercial. Their
He
Super
knows
Bowl
them. He
commercials
knows them,
made it
right?
look like they were not taking themselves seriously.
They were
at all.
drifting that.
Yeah.
Like they were having smoke come off the back tires and the whole 9 yards.
It's like Toyota's discovered meth or something. They've just completely fucking lost their minds.
But that wasn't the car I was talking about.
Which car were you talking about?
Well, so I guess it's probably technically a Subaru, but it's made by Toyota. The GT86. I saw some pictures of the STI one, quote
Yeah.
unquote.
Yeah.
Is it as bad as I want it to be?
It's cool, but you look at it and you know it's a concept.
They're never going to build it.
I don't think so.
Is it turbocharged?
Don't know.
I would assume so. I don't.
There was no information. It was just bam,
Just
we made a
there.
concept. Yeah. And it's, don't get me wrong, it looks great. It looks amazing. But you know, when you walk up to it and it's got 2-inch tall mirrors and the door handles are like the Aston Martin ones that pop out of the door and then you grab it and open it, you're like, this isn't
Didn't
good.
it have like a big rear diffuser on it and stuff like
It
that?
had a huge
too?
rear diffuser that looked great. It had this giant carbon
not
fiber
gonna
wing that
happen.
looked great. It looks awesome, but it's not real.
Never going to happen.
But the weird thing about that is that they had a Scion exhibit, like a huge one.
Why?
Really.
Got me, I don't know.
Was it like completely separate from Toyota? Or was
Yeah,
it,
yeah. So we went to Toyota, and I was like, oh, well, this will be it, right? Come around the corner, Scion.
Huh.
I mean,
I didn't read into that enough. Maybe that doesn't take effect till the end of the year. They probably need to liquidate the rest of their,
2015s or 16s?
you know, whatever they've got.
that's a good point. I suppose they still got to get rid of inventory because there's still cars that say Scion on them, even if they are going to, you know, rebadge the next year model. They still got to get
They
rid of
still
this
got to
year.
get rid of what they've got. So maybe that doesn't take effect until, you know, later fourth quarter or something like that.
But I thought, I don't know, it was a little weird.
It is a little weird. I wouldn't have spent the money on it, I guess. So
What else was there? The Ram Raptor, the Power Wagon.
was it awesome?
No,
No, pretty let down.
yeah, kind of.
Still take a Ford Raptor over that.
Oh yeah. I don't think it's a bad idea for Ram. I think that they're thinking, you know, people that are like, oh, sweet Raptor, but I'm, you know, Cummins, blah, that guy.
Are they gonna put a Cummins in? Is it a Cummins in it?
No, I don't think so.
Well, then you're wasting my time.
Fair enough. Moving on.
Cummins swap the world.
No.
No, it's a thing now, dude. That's
It
what
is
they
a
do.
I
thing.
saw you posted on his page the other day.
What else?
GT40. GT, whatever.
The GT.
Ford GT.
I've seen it already, so I guess I wasn't that
I-
floored by it. It is pretty amazing. It is a pretty
He's so
amazing
jaded.
design.
Was the new NSX there?
Yeah.
We didn't take a picture.
So a lot
of
of people talk mad
I
shit
took
about the
pictures of
new.
it.
Yeah,
Did
it's in there.
Oh.
So
Well, I
people
guess I
talk
must look
mad
right
shit
past
about
it.
the new NSX. I mean, I know you haven't driven it, but do you think it deserves the hate that a lot of the media is giving it?
I think the real issue with that car is that when it came out initially, and I'm talking back in the 90s, I hope, in the 90s, that
Yeah.
it was, you know, it was co-designed with Ayrton Senna, and it was lightweight, and it was, you know, it was a pure driving, fuck you Ferrari, you know, this, and now it's not that. It's kind of fat and bloated, and
It's a hybrid.
It's a hybrid, and it's got 4 motors in it, and so the hatred is that, you know, I know Acura is not about heritage, but, you know, when you get into that level of car and you start using names that you've used in the past, people expect you to kind of pay homage to
And
that
I'm not
heritage.
hating on this hybrid supercar thing because I actually kind of like it. I think it's pretty cool. But I can see where.
I think they could have taken a lot
lost
different
something
approach.
there.
I think they could have done what they did with the original car and just make it as absolutely light as possible. If they really had to be on this, frankly, high horse of, oh, it's so economical, and well, just make it as light as you can then, like the 4C. I mean,
Right.
just
Yeah.
and just put a tiny little motor in it, but have it still be kind of a middle finger to Ferrari because it's cheaper and it's, you know, maybe not faster, but it's
Is it
at some level
It
competitive.
doesn't need a V12 to be
Yeah,
as quick
right.
as you are.
'Cause I think the old one had a V6. This is
It does.
okay because I'm going to say I have
It
not
does
done
have
any
a
research
V6.
on this, but
they,
yeah.
they actually there's a J swap for it now.
Yep.
Oh, bizarre.
That's a thing. There's people motor swapping NSXs now because they're at that price range.
Now, is the new one rear engine as well?
Mid-engine?
Yeah.
Mid-engine? That's what I meant?
Mid-engine,
Yep.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Or no, I guess, because it's got engines everywhere.
Oh, yeah,
that's-
I suppose.
Front, back,
The
middle.
petrol engine is in the middle.
Is in
Okay,
the
that's
middle.
really all that matters.
And then there's one in the back, and then there's two in the front.
Sounds
All-wheel drive.
complicated
It's
Yeah,
just,
that's the
that's
thing.
the problem.
and heavy. It sounds heavy.
That's what we. Welcome to the conversation, Robbie.
Get off your fucking computer and pay
I'm
attention.
looking at a picture of it because I really haven't looked into this. I had no interest in the car. I liked the old one. And once I saw pictures of the new one, I had no interest in it. And
But
Then-
Iron
and
Man
then-
drove it.
but then no one said anything good
Yeah,
about
it's
it.
not interesting. I don't know. Not that interested in. The weird thing about the Acura booth is that they had a huge booth, and there were their production cars in the front, and then there was that four-door concept in the back in the NSX. Everybody walked around everything in the front and went straight to the
That's
back.
because the stuff they make now is terrible. The front ends look bad. The cars are boring. They're not fun. They're not exciting. They have lost what they were originally. They need an Integra again.
They needed an Integra, and the other car that I really liked that they made was like the 2004 to 6 something TL.
That was a good
car's
looking car.
fucking sweet, man.
Yeah, it was a good car. It was sporty, but it was big enough to be a family car.
It looked great. It
You
was
could get
a
it
great
with a
looking car.
6-speed. The
You had that-
J motor that was in there is a great motor.
Japanese reliability. You can run that thing forever.
Very comfortable.
If I found one, if I came across one with a manual for sale that had decent mileage on it, I would buy it. It's a great car.
God, I really want to talk about what we found earlier on Craigslist today.
Oh, let's come
let's
around.
get there. We'll get
Let's
there.
close with
Let's
that.
come around to that. What else we got?
4C.
Did they have a 4C there?
Yeah, they did, but it was definitely overshadowed by the
Well,
the
yeah,
Julia.
because it's not new this year.
No,
But I still really,
it's cool.
really
There wasn't even one you could get anywhere near, which is kind of funny because it was just like 4 Julias, and then they had the 33 Stradale and the 2 4Cs they brought with them stuffed in the back.
Do they still make an 8C? Or is that dead?
No, that was a really low production
That's what I thought. So
And that
right
was-
now
that
they
was a
just have
while
the
ago.
4C and the Julia. That's
for the
Alpha's
for the
lineup.
US. They may have. I'm trying to. No, they may not have anything else internationally either. Because for a long time they made sedan, kind of normal-ish BMW 3 Series sedans, and I think that Sergio and his drug-induced restructuring of FCA's has killed all that stuff off. And not saying that what he's doing is bad, but he's made some pretty bold moves.
So talk to me about this Fiat 500X that's been massaged over by Mopar, because I'm really, as a budding Mopar enthusiast, I'm really confused.
It's something that they've done the last few years that I've been there since they got bought by Fiat.
So can I buy Mopar parts for a Fiat today?
Yes.
Like I can go down to the Dodge dealer. That's so weird.
It is a little bit weird because the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, it's a Fiat. And then there's like all these Mopar logos on all the aftermarket
Why
parts.
wouldn't they just call them a Barth and leave it alone?
I don't know. Because originally a Barth was just a dude with an aftermarket part company.
I know. It's kind of like AMG was.
Yeah. I don't know. They're trying to roll all those brands together into one thing. And I think, what they're probably trying to do is, put Mopar badges on Fiats so that, people are all like, America. They can,
Do you think they're going to capture that redneck General Lee loving crowd? They're going to go out and buy Fiat 500Xs and put Mopar parts on them? Because that's not what's going to happen.
That guy's wife, though, like if she's really, really, really in love with it.
She's going to get one and put a Union Jack or not? What? Not a Union Jack.
No, that's not it.
That's not what it's called.
The Southern
The
flag.
The
We are not-
Confederate flag?
Confederate flag.
You don't know what
I don't keep up with these
Come
things.
on.
Put that on
Keep
the
up
roof
with.
of a Fiat? I don't think it's going to happen.
No, but I don't know. I don't know who they're appealing to with that exactly. That's just my thought. Maybe the guy that's a huge Mopar fan, if his wife really wants one because she thinks it's cute,
Then
he
they'll
might
get
say,
a
okay.
Dodge Dart.
And they're
Except they
killing
can't,
it.
'cause
They're
they're gonna
killing
kill
that
it.
off. And they had those there too, which was also confusing. Like,
Was the
aren't you
GLH
guys-
there?
No.
Good, because I'm mad about it.
Why are you mad about it?
Because they made a GLH Dart concept,
Oh, it was just a concept.
and I was all excited about it because I have a GLH Omni, and I was hoping that was going to go somewhere. It's an appearance package.
Son of a bitch.
Because they've been teasing an SRT4 or an SRT Dart for a long time.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe that was what the GLH package was going to be, and I was like, sell all the things, I'm buying one. No, it's an appearance package, and not a very good one at that.
Right.
Yeah, and I'd be semi-interested in it too because I liked when I Yeah, so I was test driving a Dart. I liked it. It had the Abarth motor. It was kind of growly, but the gearing was weird because it was 41 mpg on the highway, so it had bad gearing. And so I was like, I like this car, but it's not going to do for me what I need it to do, so I didn't buy it. So if they made a slightly more hopped up version with a manual, I'd probably be in, because it's a great car and it's cheap.
There's the drifting Toyota Prius commercial.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this, where they're running away from a bank robbery.
The cops can't keep
Oh,
up.
God, the front of it is terrible.
It's just...
Oh, it's so bad. The all-new, terrible-looking Prius.
I don't like it at all.
Yeah, it's bad.
No.
But yeah, the Dodge Dart was a good thing, and I don't know why they're killing it.
Because of Robbie.
Because of Robbie?
People like Robbie. They got to buy their fucking crossover SUVs.
Damn it.
So while we're talking about FCA, they had the 124 Spider there.
Was it everything we've ever wanted it to be and more?
Yeah, I think so, actually. Bill and Scott liked it better than the Miata. They said it was better looking. With no prompting.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that. When I first saw it, I thought it was...
Do you know what
Miata.
it is? Do you understand what is going on there?
What, the 124?
Yeah.
Like they're bringing it back like with his...
No, it's an ND Miata with the Fiat 500 Abarth motor in it. So it's a turbo. Basically, it's a turbocharged Miata.
Well, now I like it even more.
Yeah.
It's a more powerful Miata, and I
did not realize it was that closely related.
Crossing my fingers hoping they put the 4C motor in it. I know that's a lot to ask. That 1.7 liter turbocharged 4C motor. I hope they make an Abarth.
All the Abarth things.
I would seriously consider buying one, because it turns out I'm probably not going to be able to afford a 4C because they're not depreciating as quickly as I had hoped.
Michael and I have a business plan on the 124, so we're banking on it being popular.
Yeah. What else?
I had a car that I wanted to... Oh. How have we not talked about this? The Buick.
Oh, yeah. Amazing. So the Buick Avista, which is the good GNX concept for all I care.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to call it.
It's gorgeous. And here's the stupid thing, and this is... Again, Buick's still run by accountants, so they've got this new... I think it's new. I don't know, because I don't care. The Buick... Wait, I wrote it down because I can't remember what it's called. The Cascada? The Buick Cascada.
Cascadia?
No, I think it's Cascada.
Okay. What is it, a crossover or something?
No, it's a Volkswagen EOS with a Buick badge on it.
Literally?
No.
Oh,
but it's the same idea.
That's the idea.
It's a small car. I think it's a hardtop convertible, and it's terrible.
Robbie's just clicking through these pictures.
Yeah, I'm trying to find them.
I didn't take a picture of that because it was awful. And they're pushing it really hard. Like if you get on Facebook, like I get bombed with ads because I look at GM things probably. So, and that girl, I can't remember her name either. The cute redhead from The Office is pushing this thing really hard. She's done a ton of videos.
Yeah, I don't remember what her name is either.
And so she does that kind of cute, awkward, quirky thing that she does, and she does these videos and stuff. And I just like, why are you beating this thing to death so hard? They're like, this is our flagship. No, your flagship's sitting over there on that rotating
it's got
table.
2 turbos and a V6.
Make that shit and stop making this terrible
back.
stuff.
It's fantastic.
Oh, jeez. But yeah, it's everything that I dreamed it would be.
God, it's so good. Is that so? Are they making it, or is it still a concept?
I don't think we know that yet.
We don't know yet.
But it did, kind of slightly break the internet.
Did it look very polished? It
looked
production
concept-y.
ready.
No, it looked concept-y. Yeah.
Damn it.
So it would be probably another 2 years before it came to production if they did it, because they'd have to do one more that had normal sized door mirrors on it and taillights and all that stuff. But
well, that just gives you 2 years to get your finances in order.
That's true.
Figure out how you're going to afford it.
I don't know, because the other thing I was thinking about buying was an ATS-V. It's fucking sweet, man.
Is it?
Oh, yeah, it's really good. It might even be, as a car that I would want to drive every day, I think it's better than the CTS-V.
Whoa.
Wow.
Whoa.
And it doesn't even have an LS or an LT in it.
No LS things. Wow.
I've been bitching about the fact that cars just keep getting huge. Cars are fucking massive.
The ATS-V isn't.
It's not small. I mean, don't get that twisted. It's still a Cadillac.
It's no Focus.
But it's pretty small, all things considered, and it's 450 horsepower, and it's got just Alcantara and the seats and the...
I do love me some Alcantara.
Oh, it's so cool. It's so cool. And you look at it, and the thing is, like, they've got these, like, Michelin Pilot Cup Super Sport tires on it.
Yeah, you're going to Spend
It
$2
doesn't have
grand on
stupid,
tires every
huge
6 months.
Escalade wheels on it. It's got like 18s, and it's just it's just perfect. The way that it
Brembos.
sits in there, it's the perfect wheel fitment. It's the perfect gap. It's just like, oh god damn it, I gotta have that.
He's getting a little aroused over there,
just a
isn't he?
little bit. Yeah, I may have looked up the lease options this morning.
And what are they?
It's $569 a month, which I think I could probably swing if I buckled down.
That hurts.
It might be worth it though.
No, I'll talk you out of that one.
Don't lease a car.
Nope, talking you out of it.
Oh, you wouldn't buy a Giulia. That's for sure. Why would you buy
not?
it?
Why wouldn't I?
Absolutely not. Lease that shit. Turn that shit in after 2 years.
Why?
It's an Alfa Romeo.
So?
It's going to explode at some
It's
point.
a Dodge.
No, it's don't get it twisted. Hold on a second here, Mr. Mopar.
Who makes the motor?
Who bought your company? The Italians did.
Yeah, and it's been going downhill ever since.
Yeah,
hasn't it?
exactly. So the quality's going to be terrible. It's going to be a great car,
But
for
the
3
Giulia
years.
and the ATS-V are like polar opposites of the same market. You buy
Which
the
is-
ATS-V because you want a car long term. You buy the
Yeah.
Giulia because you're a crazy lunatic who smokes cigarettes.
No, you lease the Giulia.
And
You buy the ATS-V.
That
Yeah.
I'll agree with.
That's what I
So my
decided.
problem with leasing is that I put too many miles on a car for me to be able to lease one.
Yeah. No, I know.
You probably do too. 'Cause,
I know.
I mean, you
I know.
you don't live that close to where you work.
Adam, this logic is ruining my chubby that I have right now. Would you just calm
I'm
down?
fine with that.
Jesus.
It's weird.
We gotta bring you back
We're in
down
a
to
room
earth.
full of boys, men, room full of men. Excuse me.
So
Then you-
those are the highlights, really.
Yeah, so the other one I thought was cool was the Viper, and I assume they're
The ACR.
The
they're
ACR.
pushing that to.
I don't
It's the
know.
last year, isn't it?
It said 101,
Oh, really?
one of one. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's got canards on. Well, no, because the Viper program, they have like now there's like literally a million different ways you can build a Viper, and so that's what they call their Viper program is one of one. Because chances are,
Oh.
when you buy a Viper,
It's the
there's
only one.
not another one like it because of the vast number of options there are.
No, it's because everybody else kept driving down the road to the Chevy dealership and bought a Z06.
Boom.
If I had that kind of money, I'd definitely get the Viper.
Yeah, I'm with Robbie on this one.
No,
But then again,
I
if
can't. Morally, I can't.
I thought it was funny. Like a year ago, they're like, Dodge dropped the price of the Viper, $20,000. Sales increases. You don't fucking
No
say.
shit. Because people that like have no brand loyalty are comparing the Corvette to the Viper,
Yeah,
and they're
you buy
like,
the
"That's
Vet
how much more
because
expensive?"
The Vet is faster and cheaper
Yeah.
and arguably better looking. Although
Yeah.
I think the Viper's better looking, I can see an argument for the Vet.
Yeah. It pains me, but yeah.
So I don't know, but
Oh, one other honorable mention: the Lincoln Continental was pretty nice. The rest of the Lincoln booth made you want to tear your eyes out, but it was good.
Lincoln makes this car. I don't remember what it is. I think it's the MKX or MKZ maybe. I don't remember. But
Isn't that the crossover?
that might be the I think the MKX
No,
is the crossover.
Yeah, I think the MKZ is the sedan.
My mom has an older MKZ and that's a car.
Oh, okay.
But
I'm
one of the
thinking
newer
LS.
ones they make right now, it's got like this spoiler thing that extends off the back of the trunk and it looks like a drag racing spoiler. And for no other reason than that, I really like that car.
Why?
It just looks cool.
That seems silly though.
No, you should see it.
It's
looks
a
good.
Lincoln.
I like
It's
it.
going to be driven by old
No,
people.
I'm not going to buy one, but I just like the trunk. The back of it looks good.
Fair enough.
So Mercedes, BMW, did any of them, were they there? Were they
Yeah, they were
interesting?
there. There was a there was a M4 GTS there, which is kind of interesting. I don't know. I'm bored. It's very Germanic. It's just really
Yeah.
not that. The RS7 was awesome.
Was it?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes me want to. If we're assuming that we're rich and we have people to tow our cars to the track, I kind of wanted to change my daily dream car. After seeing
daily
it,
dream car?
yeah,
You're
rich
gonna
guy
make-
daily.
Oh, you're going to make, instead of this stupid 800 horsepower Escalade,
I'd
you're
rather
gonna
have a
make an RS7?
$130,000 RS7. Yeah,
Now you're speaking my language.
it's gorgeous. It is. It's a very striking, beautiful.
Was there a Porsche Panamera there?
No,
It's a bummer.
Good.
Couldn't
It's
be
a bummer.
bothered. They knew that was going to do irreparable damage to the public, both physically and emotionally, if they brought one in there. So
It's a bummer.
Kept that at home.
The V8 or V10 R8.
Yeah, pretty cool.
I like the older one better. I still like the older one better.
I would agree with that. The
newer
TT,
one
I don't
doesn't
like the
look as
TT
good.
either.
See, I like the Mark III TT better than I like the Mark II. And I hope
Really?
yeah, I do. And I hope that they make a Mark III TTRS.
I don't know. The Mark II the Mark II TTRS was very good looking.
Yes, but the base TT, I would not own a Mark II. I like the Mark III though. It's a much better car.
It probably is, but there's something disproportionate about it that I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah, that might be.
So,
true.
I don't know if it's
better.
it might be the giant chrome grill.
Yeah, I can fix that.
I don't know.
Can
Yeah.
of Plasti Dip, and that's no big
A little
deal.
bit of spray paint and go to O'Reilly's. Just
whatever.
spray that stuff on there.
Use Plasti Dip if you're going to lease it. That washes off that way.
Smart.
But the rest of that, I mean, like I said, it was kind of, I don't know. It's boring. You go to Alfa Romeo, which has got like all this heritage stuff, and it's interesting, and you got all
Yeah,
these
I
salutes
can
and
see
black
that.
dresses, and then you go over to the BMW, Audi, Mercedes side, and it's just a bunch of dudes in suits, and it's boring, and there's no drama.
Business like and
Yeah, and it's just you're just kind of like, yeah, this is kind of like I forgot until just now. I sat in an M6. It's just kind of like, yeah,
what are you sitting in your profile picture?
a slingshot,
That's
Polaris
what I
slingshot.
thought that was.
Yeah,
So those, I've been close to one,
it seems like a lot of money for that much plastic.
but I think it's a really weird. Like it's not a useful vehicle.
And I get that it's got to be waterproof. That's why it's so plasticky. But that seems like a lot of money for a Solstice engine and a 5-speed
And a glorified ATV.
and a bunch of plastic.
Yeah, I don't get it.
It definitely wasn't. Didn't walk away from that going, yeah, I got to have one of these.
Did
Or
they
those-
go ahead.
I was gonna say, are those even technically cars or are they motorcycles? Because I know when the
No, I-
they're
T-Rex
cars.
when the T-Rex came out, it was basically the same design, and that was a motorcycle.
No, it's a car, so you could drive that with no helmet.
Yep, that's the big thing.
Well, I suppose the T-Rex only had one passenger seat.
So is the slingshot?
No,
No.
I mean one seat total. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, maybe that's the difference.
It could easily be. I don't know. Did they have a Focus RS there?
They did. So it was busier there this year than I've ever seen it. And maybe it was just that day and the time that we went, it was just swamped. It was really hard to get pictures of stuff because,
Too many people. I get
people
it.
are morons. And they're like, you're squat, you're like laying on the floor, like trying to get a shot of this
Hey,
car, and then somebody walks right
I'm
in
a
front of you.
podcaster trying to take a picture here. Do you fucking mind?
Yeah, this is my fucking job, all right?
Well, it's your fault. It's your own fault for not wearing a 1010s T-shirt.
You should have had it. We need a 1010s media.
Yeah, we need fake media lanyards.
Oh, brilliant!
So we can look official. We'll just get some lanyards online, and then we'll print off this thing that says 1010, media access on it or something. Just blow past that security guard.
Get a
gotta
bright
get in
orange
here.
vest.
Oops, excuse me. Hey, Joe, how you doing? Just walk right in.
Yeah, you can have the fake pass, and we'll come back with the video cameras, and then that'd just make for a good segment.
There we go. I like it.
And then if you get through, great. If you don't, we'll film that too.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then we'll put that on
it's
the
a,
internet.
it's a
and be like,
win-win for us.
Look at what so-and-so auto show did to us when we showed up. I like it.
Bunch of haters.
Yeah.
All right, that's our plan moving forward.
So I couldn't, I've got one picture or two pictures of the Raptor, the new one. It was really hard to get a picture of, and I think it was locked, so I couldn't even get in it because
They lock things at auto show?
Oh yeah, there's tons of stuff that's locked. Yeah, all the Porsches are locked.
I didn't even realize you could get that close to touch tip most of them.
Yeah,
You can sit in a lot of them.
Yeah, you can sit in most of them. The RS was locked. I mean,
I wouldn't let people touch that either.
No.
Oh, don't even get me started on that. Just real quick, if you have kids at home and you take them to an auto show,
Yeah,
I know that these cars get beat up and people sit in them and, shit happens, but don't let them stand on the seats and you see kids walk past a car and they'll drag their hand across the trunk and you just cringe. Just, ugh. That was a $100,000 BMW that you just did that to.
Not anymore. It's not.
And I get that, that shit's going to happen and BMW is going to polish them off and they're going to sell them off as, ex-demonstrator test drive cars and not tell you where.
Certified pre-owned.
Certified pre-owned. But please, please
Have some respect.
have a little bit of respect.
Yeah. I said, when I was younger, I was going to build when I got older, I was going to build a car that was electrified. And it was going to be like the first car as you walked in a car show. And then when some stupid little moronic kid who has parents that don't teach them any manners, drags their hand across his car and gets shocked. That'll be the last car he touches that day.
Seems like we should do it with a new DeLorean.
Problem
Because that'll be an aluminum exterior body.
How are you talking?
The whole thing will be like a shock, like for what am I thinking of? The shocker fence on the cows at the farm.
Yeah,
just like that.
We're
perfect.
We're never going to be asked to go to any media events now.
Sure we will.
I bet good guys would be like, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, actually, yeah, they'd be into it. Any other questions about the auto show?
No,
I can't think of any.
No.
You should go. I mean, if you're kind of close, or just go to a auto show. I mean, it doesn't have to be that one.
No,
But just
I went
go.
to Dallas, and it was not very good.
Oh, really?
No.
I went to the Minneapolis one when the GTR first came out. That was cool. But
So I guess if you're in Chicago or Detroit or Geneva, because we're international, or the Tokyo Auto Show.
That would be
Tokyo,
awesome.
there you go.
There's a plug for you. Yeah, go check it out. I mean, it's fun. It's a good time. Deal with as much of it as you
I
want
just
to.
think the one I went to, I went by myself, number one, which is never as much fun as it should be.
Yeah.
And then, it just wasn't very big. But I'm sure they would have been cool.
Yeah.
I would love to go to a different one.
Yeah, definitely. So you want to move on to the news?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about the news.
Sweet. So first thing I got for the news is I saw that Morgan is going to go fully electric / hybrid by 2019.
Which is really weird because they make cars out of wood.
Well, so yeah, that was bizarre when I saw it too. So they make wood cars, like wood framed cars, and then they make like all aluminum cars. But it doesn't matter. It still looks like it's 1939 in their production
they
facility.
Haven't hired an engineer. And
Yeah, no, there's no designers that work there. Surely there can't be.
No, there's no way. Like they look straight out of 1920.
So it seems, like,
which is great. I think they're glorious.
It's a neat idea.
but it's a weird juxtaposition. But the thing of it is that the British government has given them a grant to do this.
Like a $6 million grant, right?
Really? Oof.
Yeah, or £6 million.
Pounds. Yeah, sorry.
So that's
about
even more than $6
$8 or $9 million.
Yeah, that's $8
yeah.
or $9 million.
Yep.
So-
8.6 mil.
So, I mean, it's hard to turn that down, especially if you were being pressured by Cafe to get your fleet.
But I wouldn't
emissions
think
down.
that they sell enough cars to have to worry about fleet emissions.
I think they're all subject to Cafe standards, though.
I thought that's what that low production thing
That's the United States.
only.
Yes.
And Cafe is overreaching.
Cafe is Europe.
Oh, okay. Bummer, bro.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. Hopefully it works out for them. But the weird thing is they're going to make that trike in an electric version, or they are making it. Why would you want that?
Like a plug-in one?
Yeah, no motor or no petrol-powered motor.
That's so weird.
Because the whole point of the other one is that there's a bunch of drama. Like you're in a Spitfire, you got this fuselage around you, and you got that giant S&S, basically it's a glorified Harley motor on the front of it. It's up there, and you're like, you're wearing your goggles, and like, I'm a fighter pilot. But you can't do that in an electric car,
No, it really takes a lot of the drama out of it.
which is my issue with electric cars in general. But
Just makes it real
that specifically seems to be the
All of a
wrong
sudden,
application.
It's only used as a commuter car, like an inner city commuter car. Like you don't want to buy a G-Wiz. You live in London, so you buy this instead.
But it's going to be way more expensive, I'm sure.
There's a car that Robbie has no idea exists.
A G-Wiz.
A G-Wiz?
A G-Wiz.
You guys are...
It's bad.
We lost not only me, but everyone else.
No, people watch Top Gear, Robbie.
It's so bad.
It's a little terrible piece of shit.
Oh, God.
Apparently, the fun thing to do is to pick them up. Like, you get a group of your friends together and pick it up and, like, spin it around 180 degrees. So when somebody comes out, they're like, wait a minute. I didn't park this direction. Do you see it, Robbie?
No.
G-E-E. There you go.
No.
There it is.
That's the worst thing ever.
Yeah, it is.
That's like, it wants to be a smart car, but
it's not
shit
even
on
that
itself.
And they only
It
get,
puked
like,
on itself.
40 miles of range.
Yeah, they're pretty pathetic.
We could
So,
Hayabusa swap it.
I guarantee you that's a thing.
Well, it looks like it's got even more room. I don't know. Hey, we could Hayabusa swap that thing.
boost swap it.
You can boost
See,
anything.
I'm a little more interested now if we can boost swap it.
Coming up on our YouTube channel that we don't have yet.
Yep.
1010's boost swaps a G-Wiz.
That we can't.
Can we even
here
get
in
it?
the
Yeah.
United
Can we get a
States.
G-Wiz?
Not
It
that
wouldn't be
I'm
hard to
aware of.
ship it. You could just put it in a little box, put it in a small crate, and ship it over.
We'll figure it out.
Think Amazon will drop ship us one of those with their drones?
Probably, yeah, if we call them up. special order.
It'd be a good advertisement for all of us.
But
Because here's one with the big-ass fat tires in the back.
Oh, they've done some dumb stuff to them.
Yeah, there's some people that have done weird things.
Cobra
too.
swapped them and stuff.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, very weird.
No, and then back to the electric Morgans. I don't like it. It just doesn't fit with the types of cars they're putting them in.
Well, so they said
That's
that they're going to
exactly
keep
right.
using the BMW and the S&S and the Cosworth powertrains that they do now, but a lot of them are going to get supplemented with electric motors. And I guess if that's what Morgan thinks they have to do to stay alive, then,
Then I encourage it.
so be it. But it does seem... It's not the car company that, when they come out and say, we're going to make a hybrid, you definitely don't think it's going to say Morgan in the title.
No, it's kind of a bummer that the world has to be that way. Because I can't imagine they make enough cars to matter.
Not.
What do
no.
they sell? 200 cars a year?
In the grand
Who cares?
scheme of, emission output, no. And they're using, like I said, BMW drivetrains. I mean, those are going to be...
Yeah, they're using modernized. They're not
Right.
using carburetors and no cat. I mean, they're modernized cars, powertrain wise.
So, I don't know. It seems a little bizarre. Maybe they needed a cash injection, and this was an easy way to do it. But, I don't know. More power to them.
They've been kind of surrounded by financial woes for a while. I think there was something going on.
Well, you
there for a
you
while.
can't sell a repeat customer another one. Look, sir, we've come out with this new model. It looks exactly like the one you bought 5 years
And
ago.
we used balsa wood instead of
I would hope they didn't use balsa wood.
C5.
Structurally.
C5 Z06 has balsa wood in it.
Where?
I swear to God, that's a thing.
It's got, I don't know.
They're like, it's inside the frame rails or
We're
something.
going to be wrong.
That balsa wood is lighter than feathers. So I would hope that it's not anywhere. But then again, they made airplanes out of it. So I don't know.
I made something out of it in middle school once. I don't
Yeah.
remember what or where or why,
It
but
was probably like a paper
it
airplane.
was the thing.
So then Aston Martin comes out and says that they're going to do an electric car with Faraday.
There's a lot of weird stuff going on with Faraday, isn't there?
Yeah, so they were supposed to come out with, in January, a supercar, and then they showed up with probably a balsa wood model, and everybody kind of went, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Because they've gotten hundreds of millions of dollars in grants and investments and all this stuff, and supposedly when they show, I don't even know what show this was in January, maybe it was just a press release, but the engineer was quoted as saying it should work. which is what you want to hear. When you put
we did the math.
hundreds of millions of dollars on the line, you want your engineer to say, yeah, it should work.
Yeah, I have faith. I believe, in my professional opinion,
Should be okay.
it'll be fine.
Yeah, obviously, I'm looking this up, and I assume it's going to be basically a Tesla Model S challenge. Like they're going to be basically 1-to-1.
Well, it sounds to me like they're only going to make it for China, and it's going to be the Rapide. Rapide.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think. Well,
So
that's
their
what
four-door one.
that's what spurred it. Was China wants an electric Aston Martin? So Faraday, which is a Chinese company,
Okay, well that makes a lot more sense.
that kind of comes together, but it's still a little bizarre considering that company is sketchy at best.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. just crashed his car, and that's
Oh
game
shit!
over.
Did
for
he
him.
turn right?
I think he did.
Oh God, let's not go there. But yeah,
He's
he
on the
did.
grass, so it's not very
No,
much.
actually turned left because he hit the inside wall.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well,
He turned two left.
we will not be absolved then.
Man.
I got distracted while looking up this Aston Martin, and now I found this River Simple Rasa. Have you heard of this thing?
No.
It's the Hindenburg 2.0 on wheels.
Oh, the hydrogen
It's
fuel cell.
It's a hydrogen car. What?
Jay Leno believes in hydrogen fuel cells. I believe in hydrogen fuel cells.
I believe in hydrogen fuel cells as well, Robert.
I believe in bombs, such as the Hindenburg
Nah,
or other hydrogen-based
Very few
bombs.
people
Bro, they're trying to figure out how to put it in a fuel cell in liquid
Look how
form.
upset that guy is.
This shit.
Look how mad
We
he
have tried
is.
this over and over again. It will not work. And yes, I'm aware that guy is mad that his savior just crashed his NASCAR.
No, he's not the he did not
His
turn right,
father
Robbie.
is the savior.
Yes.
No, if
Get
we want to go
correct.
that route, isn't the son the savior?
I don't know.
Because the father and then the son and all right, we're going down a path. We should
Oh,
I don't want
definitely.
to explain my church.
We lost all of our viewership,
Yep.
Let's not go
listenership.
No. Yeah, anyways, back to the Hindenburg.
I don't know if there's
I'm not on board with hydrogen.
I think it's less volatile than you think it is.
I think it's more volatile than you think it is.
Nah, it'll be fine.
I think Robbie's wrong and majority rules, so we're moving on.
Boom.
Damn it. You're right.
Yeah, it sucks, doesn't
All
it?
right, electric cars suck. Hydrogen cars suck. New Alpine cars. Let's go. Bam.
The new Renault Alpine,
I still haven't decided whether
kind
I
of
like
a
it or not.
concept, but not a concept now. It was a concept, but now it's like pre-production or something. I like it. I think it's cool.
Like I said before, I like the side profile. I like the back end. The front is funky.
The front looks like a Scion with some molded in fog lights.
I finally decided
I
what
don't
I think
like-
it looks like. It looks just like the 94 Celicas.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's ruined now.
Sorry.
Moving on.
Sorry, guys.
No, we can't move on. I want to talk about the 4C and how much better it is.
What really sold me on the Alpine, though, is that its interior is gorgeous. It
does
looks
have
like
a
it's
cool-
straight out of a $400,000
It does have a cool
car.
interior, and the issue with the Alfa Romeo, which is going to be probably the direct competitor, is that it has not such a great interior.
No, because it's stripped out and race car feel.
It does have bare carbon fiber,
I'm in.
which Robbie's already decided he hates the Alpine now.
Never mind.
But basically it's got like an Alpine aftermarket single DIN radio from 2005 in it. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, I know. I don't care though.
I still want it so bad
so bad.
because you have to.
So let's-
you open the door to the Alpha and you got to step over that carbon fiber door sill.
Yeah,
that's like a foot wide.
Foot wide.
Yeah, you got to step down and get into it.
God,
and like,
it's so
oh,
good.
shit.
It's very
I feel like
race
I'm
car.
getting into my LMP car and I'm going for some hot
start
laps
it up.
around Spa.
Start it up.
God.
Rolling through the gears, you get into third gear, you're letting the engine decelerate, and it's pop, 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 bang, pop.
Yes.
Oh, and
please.
it makes turbo noises on top of that.
Yeah. It's everything I want in my life.
They're about, so I looked up the pricing on them.
Which one? The Alpine or the...
Let's start with the Alpine.
The
How
Alpine
much-
doesn't have pricing.
Well, but
Well, there's one here that says on this article 40,000 pounds is tipped for the Alpine.
Yeah, that's always sketchy though, because you can't do a direct
I understand.
you can't do a direct conversion because that would be about $60,000, which would be the same money as the 4C, but it never ends up working out that way.
No.
Like if you buy a Focus in the UK, let's say it's a base Focus, and it's 16,000 pounds, and you come here, that Focus might be $17,000. Like it doesn't
yeah, I know.
quite jive that conversion rate, which there are a lot, and I think Autoblog's probably the worst about this. They always do that direct conversion thing, and then the internet gets pissed about it because it's not how it works. I mean, if it's going to be $40,000 US or $45,000 US, I think that's awesome because it'll be a little bit cheaper than the 4C, and it's going to be way cheaper than the Cayman, which
Right, and
ranges-
that's what they're claiming is that the Alpine's going to be a direct competitor with the
Cayman
Porsche.
killer. If it's going to be priced competitively with the Porsche, that's disappointing because the Cayman's kind of expensive.
Yeah, that one's 80,000 pounds.
the Cayman's 80,000
That's
pounds?
what this article's claiming, that the new one is the Porsche 718 Cayman.
Oh, yeah, we don't know what the pricing is on the...
Yeah, they're claiming,
Oh,
same
brand.
article,
Yeah, 'cause
claiming
there's a
around
new one.
80,000 pounds.
Because
I forgot about
the
that.
current one's like 55 to how much of your money
Whatever
can we
you
set
wanna
on fire,
spend.
sir? Yeah,
How much do you want your Cayman to cost?
I think you
That's
can
what it
spend
costs.
over $100,000 on a GT4 if you get a little crazy. And that's the problem with the Porsches too, is that you're like, that is a kind of reasonable price. Like I would like a Porsche for $60,000, sir. Good luck walking out with one for $60,000.
Yeah, because the base models don't have any of the things you want.
Yeah.
And the things you want are at least $5,000 option packages, and you need 3 or 4 of them. And next thing you know, you're looking at just short of a $100,000 car out the door.
And the other issue is you can't buy a base Porsche with no options. Because how are you going to sell that? Nobody wants that.
No, I mean I don't even want to buy it. Let alone I don't want to buy it new. Let alone buy it used.
Yeah. So, and you're going to want stuff like, I'm sure the limited slip diff is an option. You're going to want the S because the S isn't that much more, but then you
The
got to
better
buy.
brakes, the better suspension.
Oh, you put it on. I don't know if you sell Porsches on Craigslist. Maybe you do. You put it on there. Everybody's going to ask you, oh, did you get the Recaros? Oh, did you get the carbon fiber or carbon ceramic brakes? Oh, did you get this? No.
Sorry, but I found something else I need.
Yep. So you're going to spend a fortune on it. So that's the issue with Porsche. If Renault can come out with that car and the options list doesn't get crazy, it might be, might be a legitimately competitive car.
When I for our Dream Garage episode, when I priced out a Porsche Panamera online, I had like $60,000 in options.
Wow.
And it was for dumb shit, probably like, rear shades and
They had illuminated carbon fiber door sills.
Well, you need that. That's a requirement.
That's what I said.
If it's an option, you have to have it.
What kind of fucking tool has a Panamera with illuminated carbon fiber door sills?
But you want to know the worst part about it? Illuminated carbon fiber door sill is a $4,000 option or something.
That's
crazy.
Then it's not worth it.
It's like $30 worth of carbon fiber.
But then the non-illuminated carbon fiber door option is still like $2,000. I mean,
it's insane.
And you can't not have the, because everybody's going to ask, did you get the illuminated?
Well, so there's illuminated,
fiber?
or there's carbon fiber. You get all of these illuminated, but there's carbon fiber, there's aluminum, and there was like a wood paneling.
Why? Why would you get wood?
But obviously, well, you can get the whole interior decked out in any of those three.
You don't want
obviously,
wood door
I
sills,
chose all carbon fiber.
Obviously.
Because race car.
No, everyday car. That's the
Pretend
whole
to be
point.
a race car. This has Porsche on it.
I hate that car so much.
I think that's part of why I love it so much.
It's so awful. We saw one in a parking lot, and I about gouged my own eyes out when I saw it.
Haters gonna hate.
That's terrible.
I don't know.
So anyway, I'd have a 4C instead.
Yeah, I like the 4C a lot.
Yeah, I
better
think
than
I'd
the
go
Alpine,
the same with
having
that.
Never seen either one of them.
I bet it makes way better
I've seen
noises.
the 4C. They had one at the Iowa State Fair.
There was one at the dealership here in town for a while.
It was probably the same one. Red,
Yeah,
70,000.
Yeah, probably.
They're all red.
But
True.
Sure,
that probably literally is true, isn't it?
Oh, pretty cool. No, I mean they've got white and red and black.
No, nobody wants a white one.
No, I don't like the whites.
You kind of got to get a red one. It's a little bit poser Ferrari, but it's an Alfa Romeo, so it's okay.
If I bought a Ferrari, it'd be yellow, but if I bought an Alfa, it'd be red. So
Nice.
All right, what else we got for news?
Oh, the new BMW M4 has water injection.
So the GTS has water injection, right?
Sorry.
straight water or water meth mixture?
Straight water.
Straight water.
As far as I can
water.
find.
There's a picture of, there was one at the auto show, so we do have a picture of one or a couple pictures of one. It's a cool looking car.
Yeah, it's quite a step up.
It's quite the car.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, and it's stupid quick.
Yeah, it's not cheap though.
Well, no,
You're gonna pay for it.
but it's a limited number thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean the last one was. I'm sure this one is too. But this is kind of. I mean, what are they trying to accomplish? Does it make a whole bunch more power or something, or what?
Yeah, well then you by definition of what water injection is, you put water into your intake, and let's see. Do you want me to just read the definition? Or
Sure, why not? Yeah.
All right, let's see. I think I have it all right in front of me.
The idea is that you can run up timing and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can run more
You have a
advanced.
cooler intake charge, and you can run more advance,
Yep.
which is good.
Yeah,
for
but
power.
it's. I mean, and as much as your weekend warrior wants to think he's a race car driver, it's not really a race car. It's a production car.
But I think that one is a race car.
I don't know.
I don't think that most of the people who buy that car are going to daily drive it. Let's
Oh
put it
no,
that
no,
way.
no,
Yeah, you
no! There's
can't.
no way.
It's just
He's-
wasted.
Yeah, and the splitter's too low on it, and
Yeah, that car is it's track day, bro.
but why? I mean, as you have said in the past, water injection or meth injection is really a Band-Aid for another problem.
It is a Band-Aid. Well, as it's used by most people, I think it's a Band-Aid.
I know people think that it's cool and it's I got a meth injection. It sounds cool and race car-y, but it's
if
really
you're daily
a
driving,
problem.
it's annoying because like you got to keep it full. You got to keep it, so that because if it runs out, unless your car is smart enough, which I assume that BMW
Has to
probably
be.
is,
I'm sure
but
it is.
unless your car is smart enough to change tunes when it doesn't have any of the water or water meth, whatever it may be, in the tank, you're going to be running way more advanced than you should be, and you're going to have problems.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, are we 100% sure it's just water?
Yeah, I'm 90% certain. Here, I'll quick jump in here for anyone that's listening that doesn't know what water injection is. It's basically it sprays water into the incoming air or fuel mixture or directly into the cylinder, and in order to cool certain parts of the induction system where hot points can produce premature ignition. So basically,
Detonation,
you're spraying water into your cylinder while it's detonating.
Because last time I checked, it gets cold here and in Germany, for that matter, and that's not a good plan.
Well, actually, so because I looked at potentially running a water meth setup on the Omni with the supercharger as a Band-Aid for my high compression woes until I can build a motor for that blower.
Right.
But a lot of people just use windshield washer fluid. straight windshield washer fluid, because it's a alcohol mixture.
I suppose it'd probably be better.
And it doesn't freeze. And if you buy the stuff that people make, that's essentially what they're selling you. Unless you're buying an octane boosting one or something like that, that's essentially what they're selling you is windshield washer fluid.
I honestly didn't even think about that. If it is just water, it is gonna fucking freeze.
It's gonna freeze. Yeah,
it's so stupid.
Yeah,
it's got to have It's got to have some sort of.
Then you add. Yeah. So then
does that mean I have to go to the BMW dealership and buy that in 5-gallon jugs for $600? Or what? How does that work?
Yeah, and it probably voids your warranty if you don't.
And $10 says that the Des Moines dealership in Des Moines, Iowa, or the BMW dealership in Des Moines, Iowa, is not going to stock that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're filling up a tank that's basically in your trunk with water that they'll use.
It's kind of
a gallon and a half.
I feel like it's a gimmick. It's something you talk about at the bar with your friends.
Cars and coffee.
Yeah. Yep. This is, look at this thing that I have. It's so
Which
cool.
I think is where most of them are going to end up, because let's face it, the people who can buy that car probably aren't going to track day it.
No, probably not. And I think
if you were that well off and serious about track daying, you'd buy a Porsche.
Yeah, I think that there's better performance cars or performance car bargains out there for $130,000 or whatever it is.
Yeah, you'd buy a Porsche, you'd buy a Vet, you'd buy something not that. Yeah. That car's going to go to Cars and Coffee and sit in people's garages most of the time.
Yeah. I think we're going to end up hearing horror stories about people that didn't maintain their water injection system and fucking grenade their engine.
Oh, they're only going to make 100 of them, so we'll never hear the stories.
I want to hear the stories.
They'll have all of 30 miles on them. That's how many miles it took to drive it down the road at the dealership and then put it on the carrier hauler, and that'll be it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really into it.
Welcome to exclusive car ownership.
Yeah, there's a guy in South Dakota that has an E36 M3 lightweight, which was a super rare car.
That is a super rare car. It's a US spec one.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't even know that they did that.
Yep, it's a real legitimate lightweight. It's the white one with like the flag paint on it.
Oh, I may not even know about that one.
They're stupid rare.
I'm thinking
he autocrosses it with the Sioux Falls autocross group.
Oh,
which kudos to that guy.
Yeah,
it's
awesome.
Really cool. It's a very, very rare, probably the most rare car I've ever seen raced.
So speaking of rare German cars, I found something on Craigslist, which it's totally Adam's fault.
So we were
your fault.
We were looking. I saw that car and breezed by it because I was looking for an R32 and didn't realize what it was, and I'm really mad at myself.
So here's the story. Adam posted this Mark IV Golf R32 on my Facebook page.
He's got a weakness for Mark IV.
Don't even start with me.
VR6s.
So do you.
I actually don't really like the Golf.
Anyway, he posted one with the biggest turbocharger I've ever seen in my entire life. It's so
huge.
Big. And then that went down a terrible, terrible path of, for God's sake, don't get on Craigslist and start looking for them.
So what did we both instantly do? We went to Craigslist and found them and
added
posted
to your
them.
saved search.
Almost the exact same time we posted one. So I found the one that you found, but I kept going because it had like 200,000 miles on it.
I just picked the first one I found that was a real R32
I figured,
and not something else.
I figured
that was a Mark IV.
Yeah, I figured that was the case, but I was like, I'm going to try to find like the one, right? So go a little farther and get to Minneapolis. There is a full-blown imported German spec A3 with a 3.2-liter VR6 and a 6-speed manual. So two things about that car. First of all,
we got him started.
Bad.
First of all, you couldn't get the VR6. So all the VR6 A3s were the 3.2.
Yeah.
But you could not get it with a manual transmission.
Or Quattro.
Is that true?
I think that's what the ad said.
I think you could get... I think my bummer with that car was always you could get it with an automatic and Quattro, but you couldn't get it with a Quattro and a manual.
Well, that's why I won't buy an S-Line Mark I TT, is because they're basically an R32 with a better looking TT body on it.
Yep.
But in America, you cannot get them as a 6-speed.
Right.
And so I'm out.
Not only that, but this car is the two-door version, which you couldn't get here.
So...
And it looks sweet.
So 16, 17-year-old me hanging out in my buddy's basement playing Need for Speed Underground 2 was where I got my original bug for the Audi TT, was playing that game.
Yeah.
But the car that I liked more on that game was the A3 two-door. And so when I started when I got my big boy job, I was out of college and I started looking for cars. The first thing I did was look for the A3, and that was when I realized that you didn't get the 2-door one here.
No.
That wasn't a thing.
And they're so cool.
And so I was like, well, I guess I'm buying a TT instead. And this is all Need for Speed's fault.
And so it's full German spec. So it's in kilometers.
It's so
it's
bad.
been babied.
It's in Celsius.
Stupid.
It's never been driven in the winter. It's been stored in a climate controlled garage.
He claims so.
yeah, it's
That's
the
the thing I don't quite understand is that everything I've seen everywhere says that car cannot be legal here.
Yeah, he's claiming it is.
I know he is, but
he said
everything I've
a
ever
valid
read
title.
says that any car that's not 25 years old or older cannot be legal here. Period.
Well, so when
unless
people-
it's under the show only clause, in which case you can't drive it on the street.
We're going to have to do more research, and we can do it when I pick it up next weekend and bring it back.
God, I want it so bad.
It's
Yeah,
it's
I
super
I
cool.
almost wonder if it's like that story. I can't remember obviously details of it, but there was a guy that
Had an
Well-
R34.
I bought an R34 and registered it and did it all, claimed it was legal and didn't lie on it, and they registered it, and then when they found out, oh, by the way, this is a Japanese spec car, crushed it. I mean, there is that risk.
It could happen. I suppose you'd probably want to talk to, if you wanted to be absolutely sure, you'd probably want to talk to an attorney about.
There's a couple of very reputable companies that make their living on importing cars. I would probably talk to one of them.
Yeah, like Rivs, like a Rivsu out of.
Rivsu Imports.
Yep.
There's another one that I have on my Facebook page that brings a lot of the GTRs over here. I would talk to them.
Yeah.
It's
Anyway,
scary.
it's fucking cool.
I want it so bad.
Cool. Robbie hates
So
it.
Never
good.
in a million years.
Robbie
would
hates
I own
Robbie
this
doesn't
car.
get it. Robbie's just like, why would you buy that station
Like,
wagon?
Yeah, it's. I think it's okay looking in the front. It's
What?
ugly in the
What?
back.
Listen. Just because you can't,
It's
drift
got an
it,
Audi
okay?
engine in it, so I mean you're gonna have to replace everything in it. It's gonna break on you
I
tomorrow.
don't think the R32 is that bad of a motor.
No, I think the R32 is a great motor.
I think it was much, like, from a reliability standpoint, I think it was much better than the 1.8T.
Yeah, definitely. My issue with it is mine chewed through MAF sensors. I don't know what the deal was.
I don't know what
Well,
to
when
tell
you
there.
buy this thing and it's sitting in your garage every other week, you can tell us what's wrong with it on the podcast.
My other one drove. It just, when the MAF sensor went bad, the traction control and the analog brakes didn't work.
You're well aware of this. I had my MAF sensor unplugged in my Audi for fucking ever.
I don't know if you ever had it plugged in.
Because you unplug the MAF and the car just goes to this bass tune and just drives like that, and it doesn't get quite as good a gas mileage or it makes 200 horse instead of 225, but at least it gets me places.
And that's what you want is a vehicle that you have to unplug your MAF sensor so you can drive it without
Yes.
It's Euro spec, bro.
When it's that car, you don't understand.
That's the
Rob.
only
You
one,
don't
Robbie.
Get it.
It's the only one.
He doesn't get
it.
it.
Finish your other project.
This is the guy.
This isn't a project. This is
This
a daily.
will be a project.
No.
That's the problem.
You don't
it runs
know that.
perfectly fine right
Don't
now.
put that
but it's
voodoo on me.
128,000 miles. It's an what?
Nope.
04?
No,
04.
it has 199,000 kilometers.
Yeah.
Robbie.
128,000
It's kilometers.
miles.
Just quote
It's
in
got
kilometers.
198,000
It's Euro
kilometers.
spec. We have to start talking in kilometers
Euro
and
spec, bro.
Celsius.
Yeah, but all our
Did you see on the climate control?
Oh, I
it's all
did.
in Celsius.
I did. I bet you could get a VAGCOM and change that, but I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I
you
wouldn't.
can't. I'd leave it for sure.
Yeah.
Because it's
Plus,
just better.
You've never driven enough to even see it. So
God, it's a lot of haterade from a guy that.
He's such
It's
a...
a lot of haterade from a guy whose car isn't running right now.
It's true.
I put a brand new engine
Just watch,
into it.
just, just watch what you're saying, bro. Just watch what you're saying.
Oh
That's all I'm
my
saying.
God.
Just watch what you're saying. Just watch what you're saying.
Don't worry, it'll be done.
I want it. I want it bad. If I could, like, sell the S10, get my tax return, I could pay, like, at least half of it and maybe swing the rest. I would seriously consider buying it.
I'll have to keep an eye on it. I'll let it sit for a week.
I don't know how
Terrible.
long it's been there.
17 hours when I checked it last time.
No, I didn't look at that.
Yeah, I figured
22 hours.
it'd be gone. So anyway, on that note, let's wrap this up.
Yeah, I think we're
we're
at
getting
that
there.
time.
So yeah, hit us up on all of our social media. If you have social media, we're probably on it, and it's 1010 Podcast.
I forgot to shout out to our most recent...
Oh yeah. So on that note, if you are on our social media and you hit us up and you give us some feedback or you're excited about it or whatever, We'll totally shout you out.
Since we don't have sponsors yet, hint, hint.
We got nothing else to
We
do.
got nothing else to shout out, so we're going to shout out the people that say good things about us. So, our most recent iTunes review is from Patrick Meyer, an acquaintance of mine. He's, I believe, like a cousin of a friend of mine from high school, something like that. He's got an air-cooled Porsche, which is great.
That's
He's got
cool.
aspirations to build an Exocet, which is also
Ooh.
awesome. So he's, seems like an all-around good guy.
Maybe we should go hang out with him.
Yeah,
We
that's
should
our
go hang out with
audience.
him.
I drove an air-cooled 911, and it ruins you. I mean, it
I
does.
want him to come and race it. So when you listen to this, come race with us.
When are we going to be close to him?
I don't know. I believe he lives somewhere in the Nebraska area, but
So
I'm
if
not
we-
sure
if we went to
exactly
Man
where.
maybe or something like
I'm not
that.
sure exactly where.
Patrick, hit us up.
Yeah, let us know.
We'll come hang out.
Let's be friends.
Our mutual friend lives in Ames, and he's got a WS6 Trans Am that he's been talking about coming, taking out to Marshalltown. So
Do we know that guy? What's his name?
yeah, he's a very good friend of mine.
Who are you talking about?
Trevor Seibold. He's a very good. You've never met him.
He's got a WS6?
He's got a WS6.
Why aren't you telling me about your friends that have WS6s?
He's got a cam. He's got like
No, stop.
It's built.
Stop.
It's quite a deal.
Stop. It's my favorite thing.
Beautiful car.
Got this
One of the
weird-
best sounding
weird thing
motors
about
of-
WS6
Oh,
Trans Ams.
I'm
I
with
love
you
them.
on that. I
I
love
love
them.
them. Terrible steering wheel. The rest of it's perfect. Sorry, Patrick. It was Patrick, right?
Trevor owns the WS6.
Sorry, Trevor. I know the steering wheel's bad, but
He
the rest of the
probably
car
will
is
agree with
brilliant.
you.
I love it. I love the rest of the car.
Yeah, it's a great car. His is really sick. I'll have to make him get it out, and we'll do Will It Hoon with it or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Come do an autocross. Really, seriously.
Yeah,
Come to Marshalltown. Come hang out with us. We'll talk to you. So, all right. Anything else?
No, I think I'm good for now.
I think that's the only other person that's hit us up on that form.
Yeah, hit us up. I dare you, because we'll talk about
Yeah,
you
we'll call you out on it.
for sure. All right, guys. Catch you next week.
Bye.